In a world where distractions and external forces constantly demand our attention, the most formidable skill you can possess is the mastery of yourself. The path to true freedom begins not with the world around you, but with the mastery of your own mind, actions, and emotions. As Stoics, we understand that the key to conquering life's challenges isn't found in external victories, but in the relentless pursuit of inner discipline, resilience, and wisdom. This is not a simple journey, nor is it one that promises immediate rewards. It is a lifelong commitment to shaping yourself into the person capable of facing any storm with unwavering composure. The Stoic philosopher does not seek to change the world, but to change himself, his thoughts, his reactions, his perspective. In this pursuit, he becomes invincible. So, if you're ready to take control, to forge a mind that stands resilient against every trial, and to master your own destiny, then this is the path you must walk. Today we will delve into 12 essential Stoic lessons, each one a stone in the foundation of self-mastery. The journey may be difficult, but it will be worth it, for once you have mastered yourself, nothing in this world will have the power to control you. Lesson 1. Embrace control. Focus on what you can change. The first and most crucial step on the path to self-mastery is understanding one immutable truth. You cannot control the world around you, but you can control how you respond to it. This simple, yet profound lesson is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, and it is the cornerstone upon which all true inner strength is built. In every moment of our lives, we are faced with circumstances beyond our control. The weather, the actions of others, the twists of fate, all of these things are entirely outside our influence. Yet, how often do we waste precious energy, time, and even peace of mind trying to control or change the uncontrollable? How often do we allow the unpredictability of life to throw us into chaos, believing we can bend the world to our will? The Stoics knew that this was a path to frustration and suffering. In their eyes, true freedom does not lie in the ability to bend reality to our desires. True freedom is found in the ability to master our response to reality, regardless of how chaotic or unfavorable it may seem. This is where the power of focus comes into play. When you decide to focus only on what is within your control, you free yourself from the weight of external circumstances. Your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs, your choices, these are the things you have dominion over. The rest is beyond you. Imagine for a moment a storm rages outside. It is fierce, relentless, and unyielding. The rain pours down, the winds howl, and the world outside is in turmoil. Now you have a choice. You can stand at the window, staring at the chaos, clenching your fists, angry at the storm for ruining your day. Or you can turn away from the storm and focus on something you can control, your response. You can choose to stay calm, adjust your plans, and maintain your peace. The storm may continue to rage, but you have found your sanctuary within. In every situation, this is the choice before you: react with frustration or respond with wisdom. The storm of life will always be there, but your inner peace, that is something you control. It is a sanctuary that no external force can take from you. So ask yourself, where are you wasting energy on things beyond your control? Are you allowing the behavior of others to dictate your mood? Are you spending precious hours agonizing over things that have already happened or things that might never come to pass? The Stoic says no. The Stoic directs his energy toward the present, toward what he can influence. This is not to say that you become indifferent or passive. On the contrary, the Stoic embraces action, focused, purposeful action. But it is action based on wisdom, not on blind reaction. You act because it is the right thing to do, not because you expect to control every outcome. You make decisions grounded in virtue and self-discipline, and you let go of the desire to control what lies beyond your reach. This is the essence of Stoic power, the realization that while you may not be able to control the world, you can always control how you meet it. And in this control lies your strength, your peace, and your path to true freedom. Take a moment to reflect. What is within your control today? What can you do right now to move toward your goals, to better yourself, and to strengthen your mind? Focus on that, and let everything else fall away. Lesson 2. Self-discipline, the path to inner strength. There is no greater tool in your arsenal for mastering yourself than the quiet, unwavering power of self-discipline. It is the force that keeps you on track when temptation pulls at you, when comfort whispers for you to rest while your duties remain unfinished. It is the foundation upon which every Stoic virtue is built, for without discipline, none of the Stoic ideals, wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance would stand firm. In our modern world, we are bombarded by distractions. Every day we face countless temptations to procrastinate, indulge, or escape into comforts that do nothing for our growth. Yet, the Stoic leader knows that true strength is found in the mastery of impulses. The discipline to choose purpose over pleasure, growth over comfort, and action over idleness is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Think of the Stoics like the sculptors of the soul. Every choice you make is a stroke of the chisel, shaping your character. Each decision to rise early, to forgo temporary pleasures, to endure hardship, all of these actions are the deliberate movements that shape your inner being into something greater. Without self-discipline, your soul remains unfinished, unrefined, and susceptible to the whims of external forces. But with discipline, you forge your character like steel being tempered in fire. Consider how discipline manifests in your daily life. It begins in the small moments, the moments when no one is watching. It's waking up at dawn not because you must, but because you choose to. It's pushing through the discomfort of exercise even when your body begs you to stop. It's making decisions based on long-term goals rather than momentary desires. Every act of discipline is an investment in your future self. The Stoic understands that discipline isn't about rigid rules or punishing oneself. It's about making choices that align with your deepest values, your higher purpose. It's about saying no to the distractions, the excuses, and the weaknesses that hold you back. It's not about forcing yourself into a life of suffering, but about living a life that is focused, intentional, and purposeful. When you cultivate self-discipline, you cultivate freedom. You free yourself from the tyranny of distractions and impulses. You free yourself from the constant battle with procrastination. You master your mind, and in doing so, you become the master of your life. But here's the truth. Self-discipline is hard, and it will always be. There will be days when the temptation to deviate from your path will seem overwhelming. On those days, remember that the Stoic does not act on feelings, but on reason. The Stoic asks, what is the right action here? What aligns with my purpose and my values? And the Stoic acts accordingly, regardless of how difficult or uncomfortable it may be. This is where the power of discipline is truly realized. It's not in avoiding discomfort altogether, but in learning to embrace discomfort as a part of the process of growth. The Stoic knows that every struggle, every moment of hardship, is an opportunity to build strength, character, and resilience. So ask yourself, what actions are you avoiding out of convenience? What small sacrifices can you make today to strengthen your discipline and move closer to the person you are meant to be? Each act of self-discipline is an act of freedom, freedom from weakness, freedom from the mindless distractions that rob you of your potential. Step into that power and begin to shape yourself into the person you are always meant to become. Lesson 3. Emotional resilience, responding, not reacting. In the theater of life, emotions are the actors that enter the stage without warning. At times they can be overwhelming, sweeping through your mind like a storm. But the Stoic leader knows this vital truth. Emotions are not to be feared or suppressed, but understood and controlled. It is not the emotion itself that causes harm, but the way we react to it. Emotional resilience, then, is not about avoiding emotions, but about learning to respond with wisdom rather than simply reacting with impulse. The world will provoke you. It will test your patience, your temper, your fear, and your joy. But what if, instead of being carried away by the tides of emotional reactions, you could stand firm like an unshakable rock in the sea? This is the essence of Stoic emotional resilience, to remain calm, clear, and grounded in the face of emotional turmoil. Consider anger, for example. It is an emotion we all experience, and it can consume us if we let it. The Stoic does not seek to suppress anger, nor does he act out in rage. Instead, he acknowledges it, observes it, and allows it to pass without becoming entangled in it. Anger is a response to something outside ourselves, but it need not define us. By recognizing this, the Stoic can choose not to react impulsively, but to respond with clarity and purpose. Similarly, consider fear. Fear is a natural response, but it often distorts our judgment, keeping us stuck in place, unwilling to take risks or step into the unknown. The Stoic views fear as a signal, not a reason to retreat. Fear tells us that we are approaching something important, something that demands courage. Instead of allowing fear to control you, the Stoic chooses to move forward despite it. The key to emotional resilience lies in the power of observation. Rather than being swept away by your feelings, the Stoic steps back and takes a moment to reflect. He becomes the observer, watching the storm of emotions pass through without allowing them to dictate his actions. This practice takes time, but with each step you grow more attuned to your emotional landscape. You begin to recognize the triggers, the patterns, the subtle shifts that signal the rise of emotions, and with practice, you learn to redirect them in more constructive ways. This process is not about becoming cold or indifferent. The Stoic does not abandon his capacity for joy, love, or compassion. Rather, he cultivates the ability to experience these emotions deeply, while also maintaining control over them. The Stoic remains the master of his emotional world, not the slave to fleeting feelings. The strength of emotional resilience is revealed in moments of crisis. When faced with challenges, adversity, or loss, the Stoic leader does not panic, despair, or seek to escape. Instead, he faces these trials with courage and reason, knowing that his response to adversity defines his character more than the adversity itself. To cultivate emotional resilience, ask yourself, how do you respond when life tests you? Do you react out of habit, letting emotions control your actions? Or do you take a moment to pause, reflect, and choose a response aligned with your values? Emotional resilience is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. So begin today. Begin by observing your emotions, understanding them, and choosing how to respond with wisdom rather than reacting mindlessly. By doing so, you will strengthen your emotional core and cultivate a calm, unshakable presence in the face of whatever life throws your way. Lesson 4. Adaptability. Embrace life's changes. The Stoic leader understands a profound truth. Change is the only constant in life. From the rising and setting of the sun to the seasons that shift with unyielding certainty, change surrounds us, unpredictable, unstoppable, and unrelenting. Yet how often do we find ourselves resisting change? How often do we cling to comfort and familiarity, fearing the unknown, rejecting the inevitable? The Stoic does not fear change. On the contrary, the Stoic welcomes change. He sees it not as an enemy, but as a force to be embraced. This is the principle of amor fati, the love of fate. In the Stoic mind, everything that happens, whether perceived as good or bad, is part of the greater order of the universe. There is no such thing as bad change, only change that we can choose to adapt to, learn from, and grow through. The ability to adapt is not about bending to every whim of the world, nor is it about being passive in the face of challenges. It is about aligning yourself with the flow of life, understanding that you cannot control every circumstance, but you can always control how you respond to it. Just as a river carves its path through the land by adapting to the terrain, so too must you adapt to the shifting landscape of your life. Consider a moment when things didn't go as planned, a career setback, a personal loss, or an unexpected crisis. The immediate reaction of many is to resist, to fight against the tide, to wish things were different. But the Stoic knows that resistance to change only causes suffering. Instead, the Stoic asks, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? By reframing adversity as an opportunity, the Stoic finds strength in what others might see as weakness. Adaptability also means recognizing that our circumstances are not fixed. The Stoic does not define himself by his current situation, whether it be wealth or poverty, success or failure. He understands that life is a series of phases, each one passing in its own time. By embracing this impermanence, the Stoic remains free from attachment, able to flow with life's changes, without losing his inner equilibrium. There is a certain power in this adaptability, a power that comes from the freedom to accept whatever life presents and to find purpose in every situation. When you stop resisting change, you stop being a victim to it, and instead you become a master of it. You realize that every challenge is an opportunity to refine your character, to practice virtues like patience, courage, and wisdom. Think of the resilience of a tree in the forest. When the wind blows, it does not break. Instead, it bends, sways, and adapts to the forces that push against it, and in doing so, it becomes stronger, more grounded, and more deeply rooted in the earth. This is the nature of Stoic adaptability, to bend, not break, to flow with the currents of life rather than fighting against them. So, how do you approach change? When faced with the unknown, do you resist, or do you embrace the opportunity to grow? The Stoic adapts by focusing on what is in his power, his attitude, his actions, and his ability to rise above challenges. Remember, change is not something to fear, but something to accept and use as fuel for your personal growth. By embracing change, you free yourself from the shackles of fear and attachment, and you begin to live with the unshakable confidence that whatever life throws at you, you are ready. Lesson 5, Purpose. Live with intentionality. To live without purpose is to drift aimlessly through life, blown by every wind, without a clear direction or understanding of why you are here. The Stoic leader does not live by chance, nor by fleeting desires. He lives with purpose, driven by a clear sense of what truly matters. Each day is an opportunity to fulfill that purpose, to align every thought and action with the deeper meaning he has chosen for his life. Purpose is not something you find casually, it is something you create. The Stoic understands that purpose comes not from external recognition or success, but from living in alignment with virtue and wisdom. It is a compass that guides you when the road becomes unclear, and a foundation that remains steady even when the world shifts beneath your feet. Reflect for a moment. What is your purpose? Is it tied to external accomplishments, wealth, fame, or power? Or is it grounded in something deeper like growth, service, integrity, or contribution? The Stoic says that your purpose should not be dependent on the outcome, but on the process of becoming the person you are meant to be. It is about living each day with intent, understanding that every action, no matter how small, is a part of a larger tapestry that reflects your character. To live with purpose is to live deliberately. It means aligning your daily actions with your highest values, being conscious of how you spend your time, and resisting the urge to waste even a single moment. The Stoic leader does not waste time on trivial pursuits or mindless distractions. He knows that life is fleeting, and every day is an opportunity to move closer to his purpose. Time once lost cannot be reclaimed, and so he treats every moment as sacred, using it to build something meaningful. Purpose also acts as a shield against external chaos. When life becomes turbulent, as it inevitably will, having a clear purpose helps you to stay focused and grounded. You do not lose yourself in the noise of the world. Instead, you return to your purpose as the North Star by which you navigate every storm. When you are anchored in purpose, nothing can throw you off course for long. But living with purpose also requires self-examination. The Stoic leader regularly asks himself whether his actions are in line with his purpose. Is he living in accordance with his values? Is he growing, evolving, and becoming a better version of himself? This practice of regular self-assessment ensures that you are not drifting mindlessly, but actively shaping your life with intention. To live without purpose is to squander the gift of life. Purpose is not something that simply happens to you. It is something you must choose, create, and uphold every single day. The Stoic's purpose is not one that can be easily shaken or altered by external circumstances. It is a purpose forged in the depths of his character, unyielding in the face of adversity, and unwavering in pursuit of what is truly important. So ask yourself, what is the greater purpose of your life? What are you working toward each day? When the distractions of the world try to pull you off course, what keeps you grounded and focused? Your purpose is the foundation of your life, and it is from this solid ground that you can grow, act, and lead with unwavering clarity. Make the choice to live with purpose, and the path ahead will be filled with meaning, direction, and true fulfillment. Lesson 6. Virtue, the only true measure of success. In a world that often measures success by wealth, status, or external achievements, the Stoic leader knows that true success lies not in what is seen, but in what is cultivated within. The Stoic understands that virtue is the only true measure of success. Virtue is not a fleeting quality, it is a steady, unwavering force that shapes the character of those who live by it. To the Stoic, virtue is not something to be aspired to in some distant future, but a practice to be embraced every day in every moment. Virtue, in its simplest form, is the expression of moral excellence. It is the practice of living in alignment with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, qualities that are universally valued and unshakable by the chaos of the world. These virtues do not rely on external circumstances, they are within you. And they define who you are, regardless of what happens around you. The Stoic leader does not define his success by the riches he accumulates or the applause he receives. Instead, his success is measured by how closely his life aligns with his highest values. To be virtuous is to be truly free, free from the corruption of greed, pride, and the distractions of the world. It is to be so rooted in your own principles that no external circumstance can sway you from your path. Consider the virtue of wisdom, the ability to see things as they truly are, to understand what is within your control and what is not. The wise Stoic does not waste time lamenting circumstances that cannot be changed. Instead, he focuses his energy on cultivating what he can control, his own thoughts, his actions, his attitudes. By doing so, he remains steadfast in the face of adversity and guided by reason in the face of uncertainty. Then there is courage, the willingness to face fear, to take risks, to stand firm in the face of difficulty. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite it. The Stoic leader understands that life's challenges are inevitable, but so is his capacity to meet those challenges with strength. Whether it is the courage to speak the truth in the face of opposition, or the courage to persevere when success is uncertain, the Stoic chooses courage every time. Justice is another cornerstone of Stoic virtue. It is the commitment to fairness, to doing what is right, regardless of the consequences. The Stoic leader does not compromise his integrity for personal gain. Instead, he upholds justice in his actions, treating others with respect and fairness. His actions are guided by what is right, not what is easy. And then there is temperance, the ability to practice moderation, to resist indulgence, and to avoid excess. In a world of endless desires, the Stoic leader knows that true freedom is found in self-control. By mastering his impulses and desires, he remains free from the chains of addiction, gluttony, and greed. These virtues, when practiced consistently, become the foundation of a life well lived. They shape how the Stoic leader interacts with the world, how he responds to challenges, and how he builds his character. It is through these virtues that the Stoic finds peace, fulfillment, and true success. But the path of virtue is not easy. Virtue requires discipline, effort, and commitment. It is not a destination, but a continuous journey of self-improvement. The Stoic leader knows that every day is an opportunity to become more virtuous, to learn from his mistakes, to grow stronger in his character. Success, in the Stoic view, is not an external reward, but the internal cultivation of virtue. So ask yourself, how are you measuring your success? Is it by your possessions, your reputation, or your achievements? Or is it by the strength of your character, the consistency of your actions, and the alignment of your life with virtue? True success is found not in the world around you, but in the virtuous life you build within yourself. When you measure your life by this standard, you will find that you have already achieved the greatest success possible, the success of a life well lived, guided by wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Lesson 7. Control, mastering what you can. The Stoic leader knows that peace of mind is born from the understanding of what is in your standing and what is not. We live in a world full of uncertainty, where forces beyond our influence often shape our lives. The weather changes, people act in ways that perplex or frustrate us, and circumstances seem to shift unpredictably. But the Stoic realizes that what truly matters is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond to it. At the core of Stoicism is the concept of control. You cannot control the events that occur in your life, but you can control how you react to them. This is where the power lies. The Stoic leader understands that energy spent worrying about things outside your control is wasted energy. Instead, he focuses on the one thing he can always control: his own actions, thoughts, and responses. This distinction is vital. If you constantly worry about external forces, the opinions of others, the state of the world, the actions of people you cannot change, you will exhaust yourself. The Stoic asks himself, what can I control in this situation? In every challenge, there is an opportunity to focus on what you can influence, whether it's your own behavior, attitude, or choice in the moment. By doing so, you free yourself from the chaos that surrounds you and anchor yourself in the one realm of influence you possess, your own mind. Take the example of conflict. When someone insults you or wrongs you, the immediate impulse may be to react with anger or frustration. But the Stoic leader takes a moment to reflect. He understands that while he cannot control the other person's actions or words, he can control how he responds. Instead of reacting with anger or retaliation, he chooses to respond with calm, wisdom, and dignity. By doing this, he maintains his inner peace, and the external conflict loses its power over him. This practice extends to every part of life. When faced with hardship, the Stoic focuses on what he can learn from it, rather than allowing it to consume him with frustration or bitterness. When faced with a challenge, the Stoic does not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but instead asks, "What can I control in this situation?" By asking the right questions, the Stoic is able to maintain clarity and purpose, even when the world around him is turbulent. The Stoic also knows that one of the most powerful things you can control is your own mind. In moments of stress, fear, or discomfort, your mind has the power to shape how you perceive and react to the situation. By cultivating mental discipline, the Stoic learns to redirect his thoughts, focusing only on what is within his control and letting go of the rest. This mental focus allows him to remain steadfast regardless of the chaos or uncertainty outside himself. But let us be clear, the Stoic is not advocating for detachment or indifference. It is not about withdrawing from life or becoming passive in the face of difficulties. The Stoic is deeply engaged in life, but he engages with awareness. He understands that action is required, but action that is aligned with what can truly be influenced. The Stoic is neither overwhelmed by events nor passive in the face of them. He meets each challenge with the understanding that while the outcome may not be in his hands, the effort he brings to the task is entirely his responsibility. This practice of controlling your response is transformative. It frees you from the weight of constant worry and frustration and allows you to live with a deep sense of agency and peace. When you focus on what you can control, you stop being a victim of circumstance. Instead, you become the architect of your own response to the world. So ask yourself, what in your life can you control? Are you spending energy on things that are beyond your reach? Or are you focusing your efforts on the one area where you have true power, your own thoughts and actions? The Stoic leader knows that this is where the true freedom lies. When you master what you can control, you master yourself. And in doing so, you cultivate a life of calm, clarity, and profound inner strength. Lesson 8. Resilience. Embrace adversity as fuel for growth. The Stoic leader understands that adversity is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced. Life will inevitably bring challenges, hardships, and obstacles. The Stoic does not wish away difficulties, nor does he lament their presence. Instead, he meets adversity with the understanding that it is through these very challenges that he grows stronger, wiser, and more capable. Resilience is not a trait you are born with, it is something that is built through experience, discipline, and conscious effort. The Stoic leader sees obstacles as opportunities to refine his character, to practice his virtues, and to strengthen his resolve. It is in times of hardship that the true strength of his character is forged. When life is smooth, the lessons of resilience are not learned. It is only through adversity that we are forced to test our limits and expand beyond them. When faced with suffering or difficulty, the Stoic does not succumb to despair. Instead, he asks himself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I use this to grow stronger? This mindset shift is essential. Rather than seeing pain as something to be avoided, the Stoic views it as a crucible in which he can purify his spirit. Every difficulty, every setback is an opportunity to deepen his understanding, to sharpen his discipline, and to build resilience. Consider the example of the Stoic soldier. The battlefield is a place of chaos and suffering, yet it is also a place where a warrior's resilience is tested. The Stoic soldier does not wish for peace and safety, he welcomes the challenge. For him, adversity is not a hindrance to success, but the very thing that makes success possible. The Stoic leader views life in much the same way. Challenges are not roadblocks, they are the very conditions that allow him to rise and thrive. This does not mean that adversity is always easy to bear. The Stoic does not pretend that pain, loss, or hardship are pleasant. Rather, he acknowledges their reality and chooses to respond to them with strength. Resilience is about choosing how to respond to difficulty, not avoiding it. The Stoic embraces suffering as an inevitable part of the human experience, but he does not allow it to define him. Instead, he chooses to define his response. Resilience also means staying the course even when progress feels slow. The Stoic understands that growth is not instantaneous. It takes time, effort, and persistence. When faced with setbacks, the Stoic does not give up. He adapts and continues moving forward. Every failure, every delay is part of the process of becoming the person he is meant to be. There is no defeat for the Stoic, only learning and adaptation. The key to resilience is not simply enduring hardship, but growing from it. Each time you face adversity, you have the opportunity to choose. Will you be weakened by the experience, or will you rise from it stronger and wiser? The Stoic understands that the greatest growth often comes in the darkest moments, when you are forced to confront your limits and push beyond them. So ask yourself, how do you respond to adversity? Do you see obstacles as insurmountable barriers, or do you view them as opportunities for growth? When life tests you, do you fold, or do you rise with even greater strength? The Stoic knows that the ability to embrace adversity as fuel for growth is what separates those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. Through resilience, you not only withstand hardship, you transform it into the foundation of your strength. Lesson 9. Presence. Mastering the moment. Self-mastery begins with mastering the present. Too often our minds are pulled backward to memories of the past or leaping forward to possibilities in the future, fragmenting our focus and leaving us scattered. But true control, true strength, and true peace are only found in the here and now, because this moment is the only one where you have any real influence. Being present is not a passive act, it's a deliberate choice to give your full attention to what's in front of you, free of distraction or divided focus. Mastering the present is the practice of immersing yourself entirely in the task, challenge, or person before you. Whether it's the work you're doing, a conversation you're holding, or a quiet moment of reflection, you draw your awareness into this singular experience. In doing so, you unlock the ability to act with clarity and purpose, unaffected by the noise of what might have been or what could be. This practice requires discipline, especially when emotions run high or the mind wanders. When anger flares, anxiety builds, or doubt sneaks in, center yourself in the now. Ask yourself, what's required of me right now? This question serves as an anchor, pulling you back to the present and helping you refocus on what you can control in this exact moment. To live in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or being careless of the future. Instead, it's a way to respect them both, honoring the lessons of yesterday and making sound choices that shape tomorrow. But you don't dwell on regrets or let anticipation of what's to come weigh you down. By fully occupying each moment, you create a powerful calmness where your thoughts no longer control you but are directed by you, with clarity and resolve. Consider the moments when you felt most capable, composed, or energized. Those times likely had a common trait. You were fully engaged, grounded in the task at hand, your mind neither drifting nor divided. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a sign of how powerful presence can be. When you practice presence, you regain command over your thoughts and emotions, choosing where to invest your energy rather than having it siphoned off by idle worries or distractions. Embrace presence as a daily discipline. Just as strength builds through physical repetition, mental focus sharpens with intentional practice. Each time you bring your attention back to now, you're training yourself to withstand the pull of distraction, enhancing your ability to face life's challenges with steadiness and poise. Whether you're at work, in conversation, or alone in reflection, practice fully inhabiting the moment you're in. Notice the details, listen with intention, and respond with purpose. The Stoic's strength lies in this control, not of external events, but of the self, the inner world that shapes how each moment is perceived and responded to. And in each moment of true presence, you become stronger, more centered, more capable of facing what lies ahead. With this discipline, you build resilience and clarity, carrying a calm certainty that allows you to act decisively, unhindered by doubt or fear. To master yourself, master this moment. Therein lies the foundation of all inner power. Lesson 10. Integrity. Living in alignment with your values. Mastering oneself begins with a commitment to live with integrity. Integrity is more than a virtue. It's a way of aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with your innermost values. It's the quiet courage of living honestly, the discipline of staying true to what you believe is right, even when no one is watching, and especially when it's difficult. Integrity acts as an anchor, keeping you grounded amid life's turbulence. When you're aligned with your values, your confidence and self-respect grow, creating an inner calm and focus that cannot be easily shaken. You no longer need to seek validation or approval from the outside world because you know deep within that your actions are rooted in authenticity. To live with integrity is to cultivate a sense of self-worth that is immune to the opinions and judgments of others. Integrity isn't about achieving perfection, nor is it about rigidly sticking to rules or ideals. Instead, it's about the continuous process of being honest with yourself, recognizing when you fall short, and holding yourself accountable. There will be moments when you're tempted to take shortcuts to bend your principles for convenience or approval. But each time you choose the path of integrity, you reinforce your own strength and character. It's in these moments that you grow, not only in your own eyes but in the eyes of those who witness your actions. By building trust within yourself, you also become someone others can trust. Integrity is not only a private victory, it is a powerful, visible strength that inspires respect and confidence in others. The Stoic approach to integrity also calls for clarity. Take time to know your values and what they mean to you. This self-reflection isn't a one-time task, it's an ongoing practice. Life will continuously test you with new situations, each challenging you to define and reaffirm what matters most to you. Each choice you make, whether small or significant, creates the person you are becoming. This is the quiet, relentless work of self-mastery, to choose time and again to be honest and aligned, even in the face of fear, doubt, or external pressures. To live with integrity also requires humility. Recognize when you've strayed from your values and be willing to correct your course. When you act out of alignment, admit it to yourself and, if needed, to others. This honesty, while difficult, is essential to maintaining inner strength. Mistakes are inevitable, but they do not define you. Your response to them does. When you own your actions without defensiveness, you strip mistakes of their power to destabilize you, transforming each misstep into an opportunity for growth. Integrity is not about an unblemished record, but about a continuous dedication to honesty and improvement. This commitment to integrity also builds resilience. In a world filled with conflicting influences, temptations, and pressures, staying true to your principles becomes an act of defiance, a declaration that you will not be swayed by what is popular, convenient, or easy. Instead, you are bound by something deeper, something unchangeable. This unwavering commitment becomes a sanctuary for your mind, where you can find peace even when facing criticism, misunderstanding, or opposition. By choosing integrity, you create a life of unshakable stability, a life where you are free from regret, knowing you have acted in alignment with your deepest values. When challenges arise, and they will, integrity serves as both a compass and a shield. It guides you in decision-making, showing you the way forward, even in uncertain situations. When you are guided by clear principles, the noise and chaos of external opinions fade into the background. You can approach life's twists and turns with a sense of calm, anchored in the knowledge that you are on a path you believe in. Integrity allows you to stand unshaken, no matter what external storms may come. It gives you the confidence to face every trial, knowing that no matter the outcome, you have remained true to yourself. In mastering integrity, you also master authenticity. Rather than molding yourself to meet others' expectations, you become a person of substance, a person others can trust to act with consistency and purpose. By living authentically, you find freedom from the exhausting task of maintaining appearances. When you're rooted in integrity, you experience a sense of liberation that no external success or recognition can provide. You are free to pursue your goals with clarity, free to forge meaningful relationships based on respect, and free to live a life of purpose. To live with integrity is to live a life of true power, the kind that doesn't rely on status, wealth, or influence, but is built on the quiet strength of a well-lived life. This strength, rooted in honesty and alignment, becomes the bedrock of self-mastery. Every decision made with integrity is a step closer to becoming the person you aspire to be. When you prioritize integrity, you make yourself unbreakable. You create a life that reflects your deepest values and your highest aspirations, a life where you can look back with pride, knowing that you lived not just with purpose but with unwavering, enduring strength. In the end, integrity is the ultimate act of self-mastery. It is the commitment to live each day with honesty, clarity, and alignment, choosing to stand for something more significant than yourself. It is a daily choice to be unwavering in the pursuit of your highest self. Through integrity, you cultivate a life that no circumstance, no criticism, and no hardship can undermine. In this strength, you find the ultimate freedom, the freedom to be entirely, unapologetically yourself.